So welcome back, my dear friends. So if you've seen till last class, we have completed mean deviation. We have started with standard deviation. So today in this session, let us go ahead and complete standard deviation. So what is standard deviation? Standard deviation means we understood as root mean square deviation taken from mean. So we had two formulas for individual data. First one is normal formula, under root summation of x minus x bar whole square by m. One more is easy formula, under root summation of x square by m minus mean square. Next, I said you how to calculate coefficient of standard deviation or coefficient of variation. Formula was simple, standard deviation by mean into 100. Now, in today's session, what we'll do, we will understand this continuous data formula. Next, we will see what is the use of coefficient of variation and all other things. So today, let's go ahead and let's wind up the discussion with respect to standard deviation, and let us wind up the discussion with respect to dispersion. Okay. Now, let me open icai material so that we can solve few sums. I hope yesterday's homework you got the answer. I asked you to calculate mean deviation. I'll send the solution also today. If you haven't got the answer, don't worry. Just once go through the solution. Okay, for both the questions what I've given as homework, I'll send you the solution today. The icai material sums. Chalo, my dear friends. Let us do one more sum. Let us do one continuous data sum. Example. Calculate coefficient of standard deviation he is asking. Now see here, how will you calculate coefficient of standard deviation? Now I am having observations. Next, I am having workers. Observations are given as wages. Now wages are given somewhat like this: 30 to 40. Next 40 to 50. 50 to 60. 60 to 70. 70 to 80. 80 to 90. These are the observations what I have given. Number of workers 17, 28, 21, 15, 13, and 6. So observations are given and workers are given. He is asking you to calculate coefficient of standard deviation. Okay. Now it is continuous data, right? How will we calculate coefficient of standard deviation? It is simple, under root summation of f into m minus m bar whole square whole divided by summation of f. If you don't want to apply this formula, apply a different formula. That's also fine. Any formula which you feel comfortable, you can apply. Okay, I feel this is simple, so I'm applying this. So first to calculate, not m minus m bar, sir, it is m minus x bar. Okay, now let us first calculate mean. What is the formula for mean? Mean will be equals to summation of m into f whole divided by summation of f. So first let me calculate mid value. What is mid value of 30 and 40? 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85. Okay. Now let's calculate mid value into frequency. 35 into 17 m plus. I am not right final answer line, right? I hope that is fine because I am using m plus functions. 28 into 45 m plus. 21 into 55 m plus. 15 into 65 m plus. 13 into 75 m plus. 6 into 85 m plus MRC. Total is 5470. Sir, what about sum of frequency? Chalo, let's calculate sum of frequency also. 17 plus 28 plus 21 plus 15 plus 13 plus 6. Sum of frequency is 100. So mean is 5470 whole divided by 100, which is 54.7. Okay. Now let us calculate m minus x bar. M minus x bar. So 35 minus 54.7. Modulus I am taking. Sir, why modulus? Because square is there. No, there is no point in taking negative values. 19.7, 9.7, 55 minus 54.7, 55 minus 54.7, 0.3, 10.3, 20.3, 30.3. Okay. Now, let's calculate the whole formula. Let's apply the whole formula now. M minus x bar whole square, 19.7 whole square, 388.09, 9.7 whole square, 94.09, 0.3 whole square, 0.09, 10.3 whole square, 106.09, 20.3 whole square, 412.09, 30.3 whole square, 918.09. Again, total numerator, summation of f into m minus x bar whole square. Now, directly I'll use m plus m minus and I'll calculate. I'll not apply the whole formula. Okay. Now, 17 into 388.09 m plus, 28 into 94.09 m plus, 21 into 0.09 m plus, 15 into 106.09 m plus, 13 into 412.09 m plus, 6 into 918.09 m plus MRC. Total is 21,691. Chalo, let's apply the formula. Under root 21,691 whole divided by 100. So under root 216.91. So value is 14.727. Now, my dear friends, he's not asking you to calculate standard deviation alone. Okay, he's asking you to calculate coefficient of standard deviation. So what is coefficient of standard deviation? Coefficient of standard deviation is standard deviation by mean into 100. So 14.727 whole divided by 54.7 into 100. So let's calculate. 14.727 divided by 54.7 into 100. So 26.92%. Okay, little lengthy sum, but this much lengthy they won't ask in the examination. But just for our satisfaction, we have done this. Okay, this is in terms of rupees. This is in terms of percentage. Okay, so I hope all the basic points are clear, my dear friends, how to calculate standard deviation in case of individual data and continuous data. See, most prominently, he'll ask you individual data itself in the examination. Continuous data, he'll not ask. But we have done one sum. Next. So individual data is done, continuous data is done, coefficient of standard deviation is done. Now, what is the use of coefficient of standard deviation? The main purpose of coefficient of standard deviation is it will tell you how much consistent the data is. Like say for example, my dear friends, I'm having three players, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C. In these three players, when you see coefficient of variation is high for A and very less for B. So where the coefficient of variation is less, that data is supposed to be the best data. What you want in your life? You want consistency or you want variation? Obviously, sir, I want consistency. I don't want too much variation in things. Okay. So where coefficient of variation is less, that is best data. So here coefficient of variation is less for Mr. B. That's the reason he is said to be more consistent player. Okay. So I hope it is clear. What is coefficient of, what is the use of coefficient of variation? Now there is one sum which is favorite question of ICI. Many times I have asked it in the examination. What I'll do is that I'll give you that sum now. What you people do, just go ahead and calculate coefficient of variation there and tell me. Okay. Let me give you that sum. Is ICA favorite question this is. If you see in previous year question, minimum 5-6 questions you'll find with respect to the same point. Example, tell which company is consistent in paying dividend. Tell which company is consistent in paying dividend. So if you see, I'm having two companies, company A, company B. The dividend paid by these two companies is somewhat like this: 5, 9, 6, 12, 15, 10, 8, 10. B, 4, 8, 7, 15, 18, 9, 6, 6. So these are the two companies what you have. So for these two companies, you are supposed to calculate standard deviation. You need to compute mean. You need to compute coefficient of variation. Here also, calculate standard deviation. Calculate standard deviation, calculate mean, calculate coefficient of variation. I am giving you 5 minutes time. Just go ahead and calculate this and tell me the answer. Can calculate for A, for B I will not calculate, because for B you should only calculate. So what's the formula what we have? Under root. Yes, we'll check it. Under root summation of x square by n minus mean square. Right? So first let us calculate x square. 5 square 25, 9 square 81, 6 square 36, 144, 225, 100, 64, 100. So what is the total? 25 plus 81 plus 36 plus 144 plus 225 plus 100 plus 64 plus 100. 775 is the total. 775 is total. So under root 775 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minus mean square. What is the mean here? 5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 12 plus 15 plus 10 plus 8 plus 10 divided 75 divided by 9.375. 9.375 whole square. So mean is 9.375. So standard deviation 775 divided by 8 m plus 9.375 into equals to m minus MRC. You will get 8.984375 under root 2.9973. You will get 2.9973. So coefficient of variation, standard deviation divided by mean into 100, 31.972. 31.972%. Okay, so coefficient of variation for the first one is 31.973. Once check, Vaishnavi, where you have done wrong. Okay, some calculation mistake you might have done wrong. 775 divided by 8 is 96.875 minus 9.375. 87.890. 87.890. Okay. Root of this, you will get 2.9973. Okay. One check, some small mistake you might have done. Just go ahead and check it once. Now, what about B? What's the total? Let's calculate total first. 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 15 plus 18 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6. 73. Mean is 73 divided by sum of observations by number of observations. It is 9.125. Next, x square. Let's calculate x square. 4 square 16, 8 square 64, 49, 225, 324, 81, 36, 36. 16 plus 64 plus 49 plus 225 plus 324 plus 81 plus 36 plus 36. Total is 831. Standard deviation, root of summation of x square by n minus mean square. Root of 831 by 8 minus 9.125 whole square. I'll calculate the final answer divided by 8m plus 9.125 into equal to m minus MRC under root. It is 4.539. So 4.539 divided by 9.125 into 100. It is 49.75. So if you see, my dear friends, in these two questions, where coefficient of variation is less, obviously, sir, coefficient of variation is less in company A. So what is consistent company? I'll say company A is best and consistent company. Okay. So I hope, my dear friends, it's clear. Simple point. See, standard deviation, right? Little complicated calculations you'll have. So 1-2 times if you practice, you will be good for well-being. Okay. So I hope it's fine, everybody. However, I'll give you a few homework questions today on standard deviation. So that I hope that will make your concept more clear. Okay. Now, so use of coefficient of variation is completed. Now the standard deviation, my dear friends, you'll represent it with a symbol called as sigma. This is the symbol what we use to represent standard deviation. Next. Now standard deviation, if only two numbers are given. If only two numbers are given, standard deviation will be range divided by 2. It's very simple to calculate. If only two numbers are given, it is directly range whole divided by 2. Like say for example, I'm asking you to calculate standard deviation for 9 and 17. How will you calculate standard deviation for 9 and 17? 17 minus 9 divided by 2. 8 by 2, which is simply equals to 4. Okay. So I hope it's clear how to calculate standard deviation for two numbers. You need not apply the whole big lengthy formula. Directly, simply you can do range divided by 2. You are going to get the answer. Now, next, what is this variance? My dear friends, variance is nothing but standard deviation square. You do square of standard deviation, you get something called as variance. Like say for example, I'm telling standard deviation is equals to 3. Then what is variance? Variance will be equals to standard deviation square, which is equals to 9. Okay. Next, standard deviation of first and natural numbers is root of n square minus 1 by 12. Okay, let's see an example. I'm asking you, what is standard deviation of first 7 natural numbers? What is the standard deviation of first 7 natural numbers? It will be under root n square minus 1 by 12. So under root 7 square minus 1 by 12. Under root 49 minus 1 by 12. What is 49 minus 1? 48. Root 48 by 12. Root 4, which is equals to 2. Standard deviation of first 7 natural numbers is 2. Okay. Now sometimes, my dear friends, he'll ask you what is standard deviation of first n even numbers or odd numbers. What will be the formula in that case? Formula in that case will be root of n square minus 1 by 3. Okay. Standard deviation of first and n square even numbers or odd numbers. Formula will be root of n square minus 1 by 3. So I hope it's simple. Okay. Next. So standard deviation is done, variance is done, standard deviation of first and natural numbers is done. Now, combined standard deviation or pooled standard deviation. If we require, my dear friends, we can go ahead and we can combine two standard deviations what are given to us. With that concept, we call it as combined standard deviation or pooled standard deviation. Like, let me take an example. I'm having two sets of data, data set 1, data set 2. Okay. Number of observations. Number of observations are given as 30 and 20. Next, mean is given as 55 and 60. And variance. Variance is nothing but standard deviation square. Standard deviation square is given as 16 and 25. It is asking you to calculate combined standard deviation. Combined standard deviation. Now see here how to calculate combined standard deviation. It is simple to calculate combined standard deviation. Combined standard deviation will be under root n1 into sigma 1 square plus d1 square plus n2 into sigma 2 square plus d2 square whole divided by n1 plus n2. Sir, we know n1, n2. It's clear for us. Number of observations, this is n1, this is n2. Next, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square also we know. This is sigma 1 square, this is sigma 2 square. Perfect. So then what the hell is this d1 and d2? d1 and d2, my dear friends, they are deviations of mean from combined arithmetic mean. Okay. So here d1 will be equals to modulus of x1 minus x12 bar d2 will be modulus of x2 minus x12. Means deviation of mean from combined standard deviation would be this d1 and d2. But if you want to calculate d1 and d2, unfortunately we require combined standard deviation, right? Without combined standard deviation, where the hell will calculate d1 and d2? Sure, let's do that first. First, combined arithmetic mean, let's calculate. Sorry, x1, x12 is nothing but your combined arithmetic. n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar whole divided by n1 plus n2. Sir, what is the logic behind the entire combined standard deviation formula? If you don't like this formula, apply discrete data formula. You will get the same answer. Okay. Now, n1 into x1 bar, 30 into 55 plus 20 into 60 whole divided by n1 plus n2. Now, 30 into 55 m plus 20 into 60 m plus MRC 2850 whole divided by 50, which is 57. Okay. Now x1 minus x12, 57 minus 55, 3. Next 57 minus 60. Now this is 2. This is 3. Okay. Now let us apply then the jumbo formula what we have. Under root n1. How much is n1? 30. Sigma 1 square is 16. d1 square, 2 square, 4. Plus n2, 20. Sigma 2 square is 25. Plus d2 square, 3 square, 9. Whole divided by n1 plus n2. 30 plus 20. So under root 30 into 20 plus 20 into 34 whole divided by 50. So under root 20 into 30, I hope it is 600 plus 20 into 34. It is 680 whole divided by 50. So I hope, my dear friends, we can get the final answer here itself. No need to further simplify it more. Let me drag it little down. Yeah, because of this lengthy sums only, students don't like the standard deviation. They're like, sir, sum is too lengthy. Dude, what can I do? I can't do anything. Sum is very lengthy. It happens sometimes. Not all the things are very simple in our life. 5.05. Okay. So what's the combined standard deviation, my dear friends? 5.05. Now, before proceeding further to the next concepts, I want to solve one more question on combined standard deviation. But before solving, I want you people to solve this sum. Okay, I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes time. Exact 3 minutes. 3 minutes would be enough, I hope. Yeah, 3 minutes will be enough because all the information I'll give you, just you need to calculate the combined standard deviation and tell me the answer. I hope you can do that. Yes, sir, we can do that. Now, so I hope the formula is fine. N1 into sigma 1 square plus D1 square plus N2 into sigma 2 square plus D2 square whole divided by N1 plus N2. Now, solve this sum and tell me the answer, everybody. Example, 2 set of data I'm having. Number of employees 30 and 20. So obviously number means N1 and N2. Next, average salary 4,800 and 5,000 rupees. This is mean. Next, standard deviation of salary 10, 12. So I hope you understood standard deviation means sigma 1 and sigma 2. Be careful, my dear friends. In previous question, variance was given. But in this question, standard deviation is given. So first what I'll do, I'll calculate combined arithmetic mean, which is x12. That is n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar whole divided by n1 plus n2. 30 into 4,800 plus 20 into 5,000 whole divided by n1 plus n2, 30 plus 20. So combined arithmetic means 30 into 4,800 m plus 20 into 5,000 m plus MRC whole divided by 50. 4,880. Okay. Then what will be D1, my dear friends? D1 will be x1 minus x12, 80. D2 will be x2 minus x12, which is 120. Okay. Now, entire information I gave you. I hope you can calculate combined standard deviation now. Yes, just application of the formula. What is the formula? For you, I'll write the formula also. Just for you, there is only one thing what to be done now. That is substitution. If you can't do that also, I'll hit you on your head. N1 into sigma 1 square plus D1 square plus N2 into sigma 2 square plus D2 square whole divided by N1 plus N2. Hello, my dear friends. Solve the sum. I am giving you 2 minutes time. I want correct answer. I don't want wrong answer. So I hope the sum is simple. Just substitution. N1 is there. N2 is there. Sigma 1 square is 100. Sigma 2 square is 144. D1 square is 6,400. D2 square is 14,400. Just substitute, you will get the answer. Combined standard deviation should be 98.5. Okay, or 98.57. Anything is fine. So I hope the combined standard deviation concept is clear. Yes, sir. Combined standard deviation concept is clear. Now, what we'll do is that there are some questions which I want to solve now. Okay, before going to corrected standard deviation, let us solve few questions first, and then let us go to corrected standard deviation. Few previous year questions are there which I wanted to solve. So let's go ahead and solve. This is also done. This is also done. See. Example. Some previous year questions or some important questions I can say. First we'll solve them, then we'll go for the next concept, last concept. Corrected standard deviation. Now I'm saying mean is equals to x. Mean of x is equals to a. Next I'm telling standard deviation of x is equals to b. I'm asking what is standard deviation of x minus a by b. That's a given question. I'm telling mean of x is a and standard deviation of x is b. I'm asking what is standard deviation of x minus a by b? Sir, what nonsense is this? My dear friends, this is the formula of change of scale and origin. Change of scale and origin. I hope you remember change of scale and origin. Now x minus a by b, can I write it as x by b minus a by b? Yes, sir. In dispersion, will you consider the constant? No, I will not consider the constant. So x by b. Standard deviation of x is b. B by b. So the answer is 1. Let me explain you once again. Mean of x is a. Mean of standard deviation of x is b. Is asking you to calculate standard deviation of x minus a by b. This is the sum of change of scale and origin. So what I have done, I have broke the LCM. I got x minus b minus a minus b. Will you consider the constant? Unfortunately, no, I will not consider the constant. Because in entire dispersion, my dear friends, we don't consider the constant itself. So x by b is there. What is standard deviation of x? B. Instead of x, I substituted this b. B cancel. Answer is 1. Okay. So somewhat a little tricky, but it's fine. I hope you can do it. You are in a position to do it. Next. Similar sum, previous year question only. I want you to solve this. Mean and standard deviation of x is 50 and 5 respectively. Find mean and standard deviation of x minus 50 divided by 5. This is the question. Think and solve. Tell me what is the mean, what is the standard deviation. I'll wait for 1 minute. Think. It's very simple. Yes, Geeta. Fine. It's exactly same as previous question. No change only. Okay, let me solve this. Simple. Now, he's asking you to calculate mean. How will you calculate mean? Put the value, get the answer, right? How will you calculate? Put the value, get the answer. Mean of x is 50. X minus 50 divided by 5. 50 minus 50 divided by 5. 0 by something is 0. So mean is 0. Mean is simply put the value, get the answer. Now standard deviation. X minus 50 by 5. I'll break the LCM. X by 5 minus 50 by 5. Will you consider the constant? No, sir. What is standard deviation of x? 5. So 5 by 5 minus 0. Answer is 1. Okay. A little tricky, but once try it once again, you will get the answer. Okay. Next. So all these are 1 mark questions in the examination. Sometimes little tricky they will be, but you should be in a position to do that. Next. sum of square deviation from mean of 10 observations is 250. Mean of data is 10. Find coefficient of variation. This is the question. Sum of square deviations from mean of 10 observation is 250. Mean of data is 10. Find coefficient of variation. Now, how will you calculate coefficient of variation, my dear friends? Coefficient of variation will be standard deviation divided by mean into 100, right? Now, in this question, mean is given as 10, but standard deviation is missing. If you see, he's telling sum of square deviation from mean is 250. Square difference from mean is 250, right? So, what is square difference? Somewhat like this. Under root summation of x minus x bar whole square by n. This is the formula for standard deviation, right? Is telling under root summation of x minus x bar square deviation x minus x bar whole square 250. Number of observations are 10. Root of 25, which is equals to 5. So 5 divided by 10 into 100, which is equals to 50%. Okay. So I hope the concept is clear, my dear friends. Yes, sir. Concept is clear. Next example. I'm telling mean is equals to, let us take somewhere around, this is important question what I'm solving now. So be careful. And this is, I say, favorite question as well. Where is this? Where is this? Mean of observations is given as 10. Next, standard deviation is given as 5. Mean is given as 10. Standard deviation is given as 5. Find coefficient of variation or coefficient of standard deviation. I am taking 3 cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3. If all observations are increased by 4, if all observations are decreased by 3, if all observations are multiplied by 2. This is the given question. Now, my dear friends, think and tell, when all observations are increasing by 4, what will be the mean? Obviously, sir, when all observations are increased or decreased by constant, central tendency is also increased or decreased by same constant, 14. What will be the mean here? If all the observations, if all the observations are increased or decreased by constant, mean is also increased or decreased by same constant. 10 minus 3, 7. What is the mean here? If all observations are multiplied or divided by constant, mean is also multiplied or divided by same constant, right? Okay, sir. Now standard deviation. Now, when all observations are increased or decreased by constant, will your standard deviation change? Where, sir? Will not change only. Here, will your standard deviation change? No, sir, it won't. But here, will it change? Yes, sir, it will change. 5 into 2, 10. Okay. When all the observations are increased or decreased by constant, your standard deviation will not change. But will your mean change? Yes, it will change. Okay. So here it will be standard deviation by mean into 100. Coefficient of standard deviation or variation. Standard deviation by mean into 100. 5 by 14 into 100. Let's check 5 divided by 14 into 100. 35.71%. Here 5 by 7 into 100. 71.42%. Here 10 by 20 into 100, which is equals to 50%. Okay. So I hope, my dear friends, it's clear. This example is fine. Simple question. Yes, sir. Simple question. Nothing much difficulty. Okay. Now, there is one previous examination question. I'll read the question. Okay. Just think and answer the sum. Okay. Chat box is open. I'll read the question. It's a previous year examination question itself again. Think and answer. The standard deviation of weight of students, or I'll share it in the group also. I've shared it in the group also. The standard deviation of weight of students of a class of 50 students was calculated to be 4.5 kgs. The standard deviation of weight of 50 students is calculated to be 4.5 kgs. Later on, it was found that due to some fault in weighing machine, the weight of each student was undermeasured by 0.5 kgs. The correct standard deviation will be, old standard deviation is 4.5 kgs. Because of some error in the machine, every student weight is reduced by 0.5 kgs, he is telling. So what will be the correct standard deviation? What do you think? Will it be less than 4.5, more than 4.5, or equal to 4.5, cannot be determined? Perfect, Vaishnavi. Answer will be, it will be same. No, Gita, it won't be less than. It will be same. Why? Because see, what is happening from all the observations, you are reducing 0.5, right? See, it is not affected by change of origin, right? So can you see, even if all observations are increased or decreased, standard deviation didn't change. Okay, so it will not change. It will be same. Answer will be, it will be equal to. Okay, I hope you got it. See here, even here we have discussed this. If all observations are increased or decreased by constant, then dispersion is unaffected. Okay, there won't be any change in the dispersion. I hope the point is clear. Okay, I've shared the question also. Once see it, Geeta, once you will get more clarity. Might be some mistake you have done in reading the question. There is no issue. Okay, now one more example. Think, solve, and tell me the answer. I'm telling mean of 100 observations. So mean of a distribution is 100. Next, coefficient of variation is 45%. I'm asking you, what is standard deviation? Think and learn. How will you calculate? Simple, sir. What is formula for coefficient of variation? Standard deviation by mean into 100. So 45 is equals to standard deviation by mean is 100 to 100. 100, 100 cancel. 45 is equals to standard deviation. Okay. So I hope the point is clear, my dear friends. Yes, sir. Now there is one question in the examination which came, which blocked the mind of students. Many students couldn't attempt it, but it was very simple question. Let me tell you what is that question. I'm telling if arithmetic mean is 8 plus 4 by 2, find variance. This was a question which came in the examination. If arithmetic mean is 8 plus 4 by 2, find the variance. Sir, what nonsense is this? Arithmetic mean is 8 plus 4 by 2. How the hell you will calculate variance? See, simple. Variance, how will you calculate variance? Variance is standard deviation square, right? Right. Again, it's going there and here. Variance is standard deviation square, right? Now, if two observations are given, how will you calculate standard deviation? Range by 2. That is highest observation 8, lowest observation 4 by 2. 8 is highest observation, 4 is lowest observation. 8 minus 4, 4. 4 by 2, 2. So standard deviation is 2. Variance is 2 square, which is equals to 4. Okay. So this was the examination question. What it came in the exam once. It crackled the minds of students. Such a variety question. Okay. So I hope the point is clear, everybody. No. Now, relationship between quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. My dear friends, this relationship is something which is seen basically in normal distribution. From normal distribution, we got this relationship. Okay. We got this relationship from a concept called as normal distribution. From there, we got this relationship. It's quite simple relationship. Relation between QD and DSD will be 6 quartile deviation is equals to 5 mean deviation is equals to 4 standard deviation. I hope it is simple. It is easy for you to remember this. Okay. Like say for example, I am telling standard deviation is equals to 36. I am asking what is quartile deviation. How will you calculate? I'll write 6 quartile deviation is equals to 4 standard deviation. So quartile deviation is equals to 4 standard deviation by 6. 4 into 36 by 6. 6166. 6 into 4, 24. Okay. Now, if I hope you can calculate anyhow. See, to just remember this relationship, you can calculate anything. Like say for example, I'm telling mean deviation is 5. What is standard deviation? 5 mean deviation is equals to 4 standard deviation. That's how you will apply the property. So I hope relationship between quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation is fine. Yes, sir. Relationship is clear. There is nothing much difficulty. Next. See here. Example. There is one question which I say likes again. This is from your ICA material and this is even there in the previous year questions also. Without solving this, the standard deviation is never complete. So let me go ahead and solve that sum, my dear friends. Where is that? Where is that? Mean and standard deviation of A, B, comma 2 are 3 and 2 by root 3 respectively. He's asking find value of A into B. If he was asking either value of A or value of B, I have done option verification. But he's asking you to calculate the value of A into B. Now see here, how will you calculate this? Mean and standard deviation of A, B, 2 are given as 3 and 2 root 3 respectively. Find value of A into B, he's asking. Okay. Now see here, let us solve this. How will 3 observations are there? How will you calculate mean? Mean will be equals to A plus B plus 2 whole divided by 3. Sum of observations by number of observations. Mean is 3. 3 is equals to A plus B plus 2 by 3. Cross multiplication. 9 is equals to A plus B plus 2. So 9 minus 2 is equals to A plus B. What is 9 minus 2? 7 is equals to A plus B. Okay. Next, standard deviation. How will you get standard deviation? Under root summation of x square by n minus mean square. Standard deviation is 2 by root 3 is equals to under root summation of x square a square plus b square plus 2 square whole divided by 3 minus mean square. Mean is 3 square. My dear friends, can I do squaring on both sides? Yes, sir, you can. 4 divided by, what is root 3 whole square? 3. Root is not there. A square plus b square plus 4 by 3 minus 9. So let us take LCM. 4 by 3 is equals to LCM is 3. A square plus b square plus 4 minus 27. Cancel. 4 is equals to a square plus b square. What is 4 minus 27? 23, sir. Take 23 here. 4 plus 23 is equals to a square plus b square. So a square plus b square is 27. Now, my dear friends, a plus b is 7. A square plus b square is 27. But what he is asking you to calculate a into b. How will you calculate a into b? Simple. What is a plus b whole square formula? A square plus b square plus 2ab. Let's substitute these two things in this formula. A plus b, 7 square. A square plus b square, 27 plus 2ab. 49 is equals to 27 plus 2ab. Send 27 here. 49 minus 27. 22 is equals to 2ab. 22 by 2, 11 is equals to ab. Okay. So I hope it's fine, my dear friends. How to solve the sum? Mean and standard deviation of a, b, 2 are 3 and 2 by root 3 respectively is going ahead and is asking you to calculate the value of ab. Okay. So my dear friends, we have one last concept. Let's go to that concept, that is corrected standard deviation, and let's wind up the discussion on standard deviation. Now, sometimes what happens, as I already said you in terms of arithmetically, there was one student, instead of telling 29 marks to a teacher, he said he got 92 marks. Instead of telling 29, that fellow said 92 marks. Because of which, what happened? The mean what you calculated went wrong. When the mean what you calculated goes wrong, even standard deviation what you calculated also goes wrong. Okay. So, when we have calculated corrected mean, even we have corrected standard deviation to calculate. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's calculate the corrected standard deviation. Now, let us take an example, and using that example, let's try to calculate corrected standard deviation. First, I'll go ahead and I'll solve it normally. Then we'll solve it using this 3 steps. Okay. Now, example. I'm telling mean and standard deviation of 100 observations is 40 and 5.1 respectively. Okay. He's telling one student took an observation as 50 instead of 40. Find correct standard deviation. That's a given question, my dear friends. Now, for 100 observations, mean is given as 40, standard deviation is given as 5.1. Mean, standard deviation. But is it correct or wrong? Obviously, sir, that fellow calculated wrong means it will be wrong only. How it will be correct? Okay. So, one student took an observation as 50 instead of 40. So, this is wrong observation. This is correct observation. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and I'll calculate corrected standard deviation. So see here, how will I calculate? First, what is wrong standard deviation? 5.1. What is the formula? Under root summation of x square by n minus mean square is equals to 5. And I'll do squaring on both sides. Under root x square we don't know. N is given as 100. Mean is given as 40 square. Is equals to 5.1 whole square. 26.01. Summation of x square by 100 minus 1600 is equals to 26.01. Let me take 1600 there. Summation of x square by 100 is equals to 1626.01. Let me do cross multiplication. Summation of x square is equals to 162601. My dear friends, we are calculating from wrong standard deviation. So obviously this will also be wrong summation of x square. Okay, you started from wrong SD, so you have ended up with wrong summation of x square. Okay, now see here. I will calculate correct summation of x square. What is wrong summation of x square? 162601. Why it is wrong? Because I have taken the wrong value. So remove the wrong value. Add the correct value. Okay. Square is there. So I'll square it. So 162601. 50 square 2500. 40 square 1600. 162601 minus 2500 plus 16. 161701. So correct standard deviation will be under root summation of x square by n minus mean square. So under root 161701. I hope you understood why I did square here. Because square is there here, so I did square. Minus divided by how many observations? 100. Now, what is the mean here? Shall I take this mean as 40? No, you can't take mean as 40 there. Because that is wrong mean. When you took wrong observation, obviously you will get wrong mean and wrong standard deviation. Okay. So I have to take here correct mean. So how will I take correct mean? So first I should calculate correct arithmetic mean. Correct arithmetic mean. How will I calculate correct arithmetic mean? Old arithmetic mean into old observations minus incorrect value plus correct value whole divided by new observations. What is old arithmetic mean, my dear friends? Old arithmetic mean is 40. Old observations is 100 minus incorrect value. What is the incorrect value? Wrong value 50. Correct value 40. Whole divided by new observations 100. Let's calculate. 40 into 100 minus 50 plus 40 divided by 100. 39.9. So what I'll take there? I'll go ahead and I'll take 39.9. 1 minute. Let me make some space. 39.9 square. So under root 1617.01 minus 39.9 square 1592.01. Which is root 25, which is simply equals to 5. So this is corrected standard deviation. Sir, should I apply this much big process in the examination? No, no need to apply this much big process in the examination. You need not do all these things in the examination. Directly do this one. It's directly do only this one. It's enough. You need not do all these things in the exam. In one step, you will get the whole answer. Okay. Just only corrected standard deviation you need to calculate. Sir, how, sir? I've written steps here, sir. Identify correct observations, incorrect observations first. Then you need to calculate new summation of x square. How will you calculate new summation of x square? Old observations into old sigma square plus old arithmetic mean square minus incorrect value square plus correct value square. After this, you directly apply step 3. Okay. Now see here. I'll take one more example and I will solve using these 3 steps only. Okay. I hope that's fine. Yes, sir. I hope that's fine. Example. Arithmetic mean and standard deviation of 100 observations is 50 and 5 respectively. Later on, it was found one observation as 60 instead of 50. This is the given question. Okay, case 1. Calculate correct standard deviation if mistake is rectified. Mistake is rectified. Now see here, my dear beautiful friends. How will I calculate correct standard deviation if mistake is rectified? Simple to calculate. See here. First step. What is the first step? Identify correct observations, identify incorrect observations. What is the correct one? One observation is taken as 60 instead of 50. 50 is correct. Wrong is 60. Second step, correct summation of x square you have to calculate. How will you calculate? Old observations into old standard deviation square plus old arithmetic mean square minus incorrect value square plus correct value square. Old observations are 100, old sigma 5, old arithmetic mean 50, incorrect value 60, correct value 50. 100 into 5 square is 25, 50 square is 2,500. 2525 minus 3,600 plus 2,500. I hope it is 2,51,400. Now apply the formula. Under root summation of x square by n minus mean square. What is under root summation of x square? Summation of x square just now 2,51,400 whole divided by 100 minus mean square. What is the mean square? I'll write it as 5 over here. I'll write as 50. No, my dear friends, you should not write it as 50. Should even calculate correct arithmetic mean also. What is correct arithmetic mean? Old arithmetic mean, which is 50, old observations minus incorrect value plus correct value divided by new observations. 50 into 100 minus 60 plus 50 whole divided by 100. 49 point. So minus 49.9. So under root 2514 minus 2490.01. So it is 4.89. Okay. So I hope the point is clear, my dear friends. 4.89 is a correct answer. 4.8 and approximately 4.90 also you can take. Okay. Now, case 2 is your homework here. Let's see how many of you will crack this case 2. If wrong observation is left out. If wrong observation is left out. Like, in this case, first step will be correct observation is 0. Wrong observation is, what's the wrong observation? 60. He's telling wrong observation is left out, means the entire data only you are leaving. Okay, means correct observation will be 0 in this case. When correct observation is 0, be careful. Okay. When you are calculating corrected arithmetic mean, here it will be 100, here it will be 99. Here it will be 0. Wrong observation is 60. Okay. Here also, it will be minus 60 square plus 0 square. Here divided by 99 it will be. Think and solve and tell me the answer. Okay, I'll write the answer also here. Answer will be approximately 4.91. This will be the answer. Think and solve and tell me whether you are getting it or not. So that's it, my dear friends. That's all regarding standard deviation. All the concepts and all the sums we have covered. 3-4 sums are there which I'll give as homework. I'll share it in the group. So make sure that you will do that and you are done with standard deviation. So we are done with central tendency and dispersion. More 2 days I'll do index numbers and 1 day I'll do introduction to statistics. Okay. So other than sampling theory. So you will be done with somewhere around 24 marks because sampling theory I haven't done. 24 marks will be done with that. And once do revise this, on Sunday you will have exam. Okay. On Sunday you will have exam on introduction to statistics, central tendency and dispersion, next index numbers. Okay. Those are being recorded. I'll share you that question paper. You can solve it at your convenience. So that's it. So it's a 24 marks we'll cover by this weekend so that you can write an exam on this Sunday on those 24 marks. Once that exam, you get a good score in that, you are good to go with these 3 chapters. That's it, my dear friends. Balance things we'll see in the next session.